Some of you may remember that back in September, we were introduced to a small piece of audio by a man named Ray. Ray's daughter had had a bad day at work, and not knowing what else to do, Ray recorded her a song called Whip Somebody's Ass. The song is a bit of an anthem for anyone who's having a bad day at work, and as Ray says, if you can't sing it out loud, at least you can hum it to yourself. Wanting to give something back, I asked the sports racers whether they'd be willing to make remixes of the song, which I would then deliver. Nearly 100 remixes were submitted, ranging from techno to hip-hop to blues to classical. One remix in particular, by a guy named Goose, has since been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. That remix inspired a collaborative project to make a music video for Ray, which was finished 2 weeks ago. Sports racers also submitted designs for album covers to help me deliver the final product. Delivering, however, had some initial challenges. Back when the remixes started coming in, searching for Whip Somebody's Ass didn't exactly yield helpful results. Having nothing but his first name and the sound of his voice, I asked the sports racers to help find him. By tracking emails and even making phone calls, they found him in 2 days. Creepy? Maybe, but in this case with good intentions. And all of that leads us here to St. Louis, Missouri, where we're going to meet Ray, and I'm going to be handing off all of your hard work.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Hi, my name is Ray. I am a minister, a father, teacher, scholar, a researcher, tour leader to Egypt every year. I'm a pilot, anthropologist, philosophical anthropologist. But the main thing I really like to say is I'm a student, because I'm still learning. What made me record this song, how it went through my head, how the whole thing just came into existence, is my daughter picked up the phone, rang, my daughter was on the phone, and when I answered, said, "Hey, sweetheart," and she was kind of really upset, man. She had just started this job. And she had only been on it about a week and a half, maybe. And something went wrong on the job. She didn't like it. And she actually walked off the job to the parking lot, to try to get her head squared away. And she called me on her cell phone. And she was ready to leave. And I said, Ramona, listen, you just got the job, okay? You just got an apartment, all right? You don't need to be leaving the job, especially as hard as it is to find a job now. And she was so out of it, man. She actually called me to ask me to pray for her, okay? Being a minister, all right? And she called me for words of encouragement. And as I began to talk to her, I said, okay, she grew up with just about everything I know as far as be encouraged, be strong, da-da-da-da-da, so saying something religious wasn't gonna work. So I said, okay, here, baby, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to exercise what we as psychologists refer to as creative resistance, okay? And I said, now, when you get ready to go back into your job, I want you to just close your eyes, And of course, I presented it like I was getting ready to say a short prayer or something to her. And I said, I want you to say these words. I'm about to whip somebody's ass, and man, she screamed. I mean, she actually screamed on the other end of the phone, and mission accomplished. When I saw the effect that it had on my daughter, I said, man, maybe this will help somebody. But of course, I didn't know how to get it out to people. So I just emailed it to my daughter, and I emailed it to my associate, one of my associate ministers. Name's Alice, okay, and next thing I knew, it was all over the internet. Here in St. Louis, at one of the schools here, a minister who's a friend of mine heard me talking about it on the radio. They were playing it here on the radio, and when she heard my voice, she recognized my voice and told her coworkers, oh, that's Pastor Hagen's. She recognized my voice, and she told all her coworkers, he's a very good friend of mine, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but she didn't know what was coming, and it's deep, man, because she had just kind of huddled her coworkers around the radio right quick, and after telling her coworkers, I'm her friend, I'm a pastor, I started singing, I'm about to whip somebody's, and man, she just buried her head in her arms. She called me and she said, Pastor, have you lost your mind? And I said, what? And she said, that song. That's all she said, that song. do you really think that was appropriate, you know, as a pastor? And I told her straight up, I said, Deb, listen, the Lord gave me that song. I know that's going to be hard for you to grab, okay? But when my daughter called me, those are the words that came out. I was improvising this. I didn't write it out, you know, so I'm just letting the words come out as it's coming to me. If you don't leave me alone. Of course, I'm thinking she's at work, where she just described to me, if you don't leave me alone, you're going to have to send me home because I'm about to whip somebody's ass, you know? And she went back in work, and of course, she's gotten some negative feedback from the song from people who know that I'm her dad and I'm a pastor. You know, what kind of preacher is your father if he's gonna sing some kind of song like this? And really, you know, it has been offensive to some. It has been offensive because people feel like as a minister, I should not use that kind of language. I shouldn't talk like that. I'm not bound by those idiosyncrasies. You know, my thing is keep it real, man. Okay, we got a lot of people out here who are double-faced in the name of religion. Okay, they're thinking it, but they won't say it. All right, and that ain't cool. You know, you should be you, be yourself at all times. Just be yourself, man. You know, and people appreciate you for it. You know, people will respect you for it, even if they don't agree with you. At least they will respect you for it. I had to do a lecture in Dallas, and the people that picked me up from the airport, you know, the young lady who was driving and her coworker next to her, I was riding in the back seat, and they taken me to my hotel, and all of a sudden she just started humming. You know, and so of course my ears picked it up, you know, and I said, "You're humming my song." She said, "What do you mean I'm humming your song?" I said, "The song that you're humming, I wrote that." She said, "No, this is a song we sing around the office at the job." I said, "Is it I'm about to whip somebody's ass?" You know, she said, "How'd you know?" I said, "I told you, I wrote it." She said, "No, you didn't." So I started into, "Hi, I'm Ray." And on yesterday, my daughter, and as far as I got, and she screamed, man. She just screamed, and she picked up the phone to call her coworkers. "Guess who I got in the car with me? Guess who I got in the car with me?" There's a lady, one of my listeners on the internet, who lives in South Carolina. Her name is Larita. She's a postal worker, okay? And she plays the song for her supervisor, you know, as a way of saying, listen, better back up, you know? I learned to sing genetically, okay? It runs in my family. And then, of course, I'm a musician. Been a musician, choir master since 13 years old. So singing is what I do, you know, one of the things that I do. I teach voice, in fact. I used to have the largest black-owned music training center in Paterson, New Jersey, where I'm from. I'm a cognitive psychologist, and what really propelled me into the area of the discipline of cognitive psychology is dealing with church people. I've been in church all my life. I'm really about healing my people, Z. And when I say my people, I do mean in particular black African people. My people have been disillusioned, misled, you know, mistaught, miseducated as a result of the psycho paradigm that many of my people hold. We're in a condition that only we can rescue ourselves from. So my life, my entire life is really spent in trying to heal through right knowledge, through a proper education, especially cultural awareness of our historical past as African Americans living in this country. We are all interconnected to each other. Creation itself is. That's the whole principle behind understanding cosmogony. In our school of philosophical thought, there is a principle that comes from ancient Egypt, and that word is pronounced ma'at. It's spelled M-A-A-T. Ma'at means, or I shouldn't say it means, but it is summed up in truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, reciprocity, right order of things. I try to teach ma'at to our people. Now, here's the deep thing about it. Ma'at is not color bound. There is not a matter of race or nationality or creed when it comes to Ma'at. Ma'at simply says everything should be as it is. Let me use an example, and this is just coming to me, so I hope it makes sense, okay? Let's take birds, for example. Birds are all interconnected because they're birds, but yet you will never see an eagle leading a flock of geese. You see what I'm saying? Or you'll never see a robin hanging out with a blue jay. But yet they're all birds. They do what they're supposed to do within the confines of nature itself. And consequently, we have what we call the universe. So it's not about, see, where we mess up as a people is we become anti-other, you see, and we shouldn't do that. You know, just do what you do. Do what you're wired to do. You know, do what God made you to do naturally. You know, don't worry about trying to fight someone else or tear someone else down. Just do what you do. You know, an eagle does what it does. A duck does what it does. You can go through the whole animal kingdom, you see, and the animal kingdom is fine. You know, we highly intellectualized human beings are the only ones who've made a mess of this thing. In my humble little way, I'm just excited, Zay, that that this is even happening, you know. And to the hundreds and thousands of listeners out there who have been touched by this little jingle that I put together, the main thing that I would say is get to know who you are, you know yourself. That is the key principle in life. In fact, one of the ancient principles that's taught in ancient Egypt is over every doorway, a portal, in every temple in ancient Egypt, it says, man, know thyself, for in knowing thyself, thou shalt know God. Know the truth. Take a stand for what you know is right. And it's not hard to do that. You know, whenever we do something that we should not do, a little check mark goes off right in here. That says, you know that's not right. Don't do that. You know, do what you know is right. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Isn't it deep that the Central Intelligence Agency has a motto, and that motto is, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Well, that was stolen from Egypt, from the tomb of Seti I, where it actually says, in knowing the truth, thou shalt find freedom. You know, so hey, stand for what you know is the truth, and everything will work out okay. I got here in my hand some CDs and DVDs that were given to me by Zay from you guys, you know, and I am so honored, you know. I mean, like, first of all, being that I do audio and video production myself, I know the kind of work that goes into the work that you guys have put into this. And I'd like to say to every last one of you guys out there, you know, thank you so much for taking the time, man, to let me know, and I'll cry in a minute on you guys too, because I can't help it. You know, when I know that what I'm doing is touching somebody's life, that's what makes it worth it all to me. So all of you guys out there who put all of this together just to let me know that I've touched your life, I thank you very much, you know, and I wish Godspeed upon each one of you. And you touch somebody's life. I'd like to say the words to a song on that. There's a song that I sing a lot. It says, touch somebody's life with your goodness. Touch somebody's life with your peace. Touch somebody's life with your joy. And it's amazing how your own life will increase. May God bless you. Peace. Okay, man. Okay.